Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Rayman Origins. We're gonna start today's update by paying a little visit to the Snoring tree. Delivery for Mr. Death. Well, looks like that made him happy. Not happy enough to let us in his tree, but happy nonetheless. And that's what happens if you enter the Snoring tree with any skull teeth. I accidentally gave him his first two teeth off screen, so I thought we'd get that out of the way first. Anyway, that's taken care of now, so let's dive right into the Sea of Serendipity. The song right here, I gotta say, is absolutely soothing. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I must have dozed off there. Let's check out the first level. Looks like something terrible happened here. Before we actually move on, here's how you can climb walls using the hover ability. All you have to do is attack in midair and start flying back towards the wall. And from the looks of it, someone forgot to finish a mast here. You can actually get on top of it too. And if you feel so inclined, you can step to the left of it. But there's hardly anything to do here. We could climb the mast back up, but it's kind of difficult when you can't see, so let's use a shortcut instead. And play this level properly this time. Well, first off, these guys are running around with dark tunes on their heads, so let's give them a hand. These guys are called Red Wizards, and they're having some trouble with the dark tunes, as you can see. They don't really do anything. If you save them, they do a little dance and then fade into obscurity. But since they're friends of Glowbox, I feel inclined to help them out. Besides, I'd hate to leave them in such a predicament, getting their faces eaten off by dark tunes. That seems pretty terrible. On the PS3, if you save them all in this level, you get a trophy, but on the Steam, as we've discussed before, there are no achievements, so no such luxury. But out of general kindness and for posterity's sake, I think we'll just do them a service and help them out here. Boy, I sure wonder how you can get those lumps. I wonder if it has anything to do with the power-up that we're gonna get in this sea-themed world. Nothing really special up here, just one of those wizard guys. And that's the last guy we need to take care of on this screen. However, here's a net of fish. So let's give chase. Got a couple of these red wizards around here, so of course we gotta save them as well. And there's a whole bunch of collectibles. She just jumped onto the airship, which has now started raining death on our hands, and every platform that you can see around. Making collecting all these power-ups kind of difficult, since you really have to be quick on your feet. Also, I really think this resembles one of the beach levels in Donkey Kong Country Returns, but could be just me. You want to take the lower path here, since there's a coin, and if you don't get it immediately, you will lose access to it. The upper path only has a heart, so that's an easy choice right there. And there's another coin that you need to get quickly, because the mast is slowly sinking. Whew, well, that went surprisingly well. It usually takes me a few tries to get all the collectibles in this one. If you just run through it, it's not that bad, but collecting everything can be somewhat difficult.
Yay!
Well, we now have the ability to dive underwater. That probably surprised no one. Swimming controls are extremely fluid, pun absolutely intended. You press to the direction you want to go, holding down the run button makes you swim faster, and you have a spin attack underwater. The closest comparison I can think of would probably be Crash Bandicoot 3 on the PlayStation, only better. This song here, everybody seems to love it. I mean, it's cute, but listen to it for a couple of hours and I swear it gets kind of grating. We have some spike fish here that kind of look like the spiky birds from the desert. And much like the birds, they're impervious to your attacks, but if you get close enough you will get hurt, so just steer clear of them and you'll be fine. Well, that's a lot of tropical fish. And hidden among them are these red fish. They're armed with tridents and a generally nasty attitude, so I think we gotta teach them a lesson. Or school them, if you will. You can get an approximate location by checking out where the beams from the cage go to. But they are sort of difficult to see unless you get up close. But on the other hand, they aren't really that threatening either. You also have these barnacles coming out of the walls. They only pop out once you get close enough, so they're not really all that threatening, but if you move around recklessly and don't know their exact position, I suppose they could give you some trouble. You wouldn't believe it by looking at them, but some of those jellyfish have such an erratic pattern that they're really difficult to dodge. Ah, dang it, that was stupid. Guess I should have listened when people told me not to dive unless I know what's in there. There's a lot of stuff hidden in these water levels, so if you're going for collectibles, you should probably check just about every little corner that you can find. Well, I don't think we've had that happen so far. If you get hit twice consecutively, the second hit doesn't kill you immediately. There is a tiny invincibility window there. Now we gotta be kind of careful around here. Wow, it's pretty much saved by a weird hitbox there. See, that's what I mean. Sometimes their movement just doesn't seem to make any sense. How are you supposed to navigate through that mess? Oh well. Oh man, this looks like it could be fun. Yeah, definitely worth a couple of lumps. I really like Portto Panic though, probably because it splits halfway through. First part is platforming, and then you have the swimming sequence right after you get the power-up. It's a nice way to segue two different kinds of mechanics inside just one level. Wait a second, those aren't stars, they're bombs! What are you trying to pull here, Ubisoft? Well, this is the only piece of land we're gonna see in this level. Until the very end. Ah, dang it. You know what? I'll just restart this. We don't have any lives here, so it doesn't really matter at all. Don't know how I got hit there, to be honest. Those enemies always follow the same path, so if you know where they're gonna be, then they really pose no threat whatsoever. Ah, crud. Well, good thing I restarted, right? Dash diving helps you go quicker, but it does it at the expense of maneuverability, since it's kind of difficult to change directions while doing it. We have these spiky one-eyed dudes coming out of the walls, or some sort of pods that they have. You can attack the pods to retract them, and I usually do. if only to get some more room to do whatever I want. But occasionally they also guard stuff, such as a skull coin in this case. I'm sure most of you noticed the rather radical shift in the atmosphere with the music. That's one of the things I really like about the horror levels, is that they have this great ambience to them and they feel just so serene at times. Now I managed to get this coin with relative ease here, but usually these jellyfish give me a lot of trouble. I don't know why that is. I just seem to swim into them constantly, trying to get out of there. Oh, more these guys again. I'd say you can avoid most of the trouble these levels have by just going slowly at it. Not do any sudden movements and try to scout ahead for a bit before moving along. You could also swim slower if you let go of the run button, but I pretty much keep it pressed down all the time. And I can't stress it enough, there's a lot of hidden stuff in there, so make sure to check every little nook and cranny that you can find. That is, if you're going for 100%, of course. Oh my, it's getting darker. I suppose these are the stars mentioned in the level title. If you look closely, they sort of look like krill or something. And their luminescence is actually of some help because they allow us to see nuts. They allow us to see where we're going, but they also protect us from those tentacle monsters. Yeah, they would just love to nab you. But so long as you keep in well-lit areas, they are not going to be of any threat to you. So it's a good thing we have these things following us around, I guess. Which way? I believe there's a secret up there. Yep, there it is. Got some new stuff over here. First of all, we have some TNT crates. If you attack them, they start blinking red and go off in a couple of seconds, but they're not really all that threatening since their range is really pitiful, as you can see. On the other hand, we have these blowfish who are of no threat whatsoever so long as you stay out of their way. When you approach them, they open up their self-defense mechanism and inflate, and naturally you can't attack them during that time, so gotta be careful about that. Pretty sure there's something up here. Yep, sure enough. Always double check. Well, we have another friendly fish up here. These are called luminescent fish, and if you look closely, they have a filament inside them. And they also serve as another light source. As for that drunken-looking guy over there. And that's what happens if you stray away from the light. Now, I know I keep making these comparisons with the DKC series, but Glimmer's Galleon, anyone? Only difference to the anglerfish in DKC2 is that this guy will actually hurt you if you get close. Those spikes are not there just for show. But we got our luminescent krill back, so looks like we're gonna be okay on our own. Okay, let's try and navigate through this mess somehow without getting hit. You know, I just realized we haven't come across all that many lump power-ups in these levels. I couldn't tell if it's a deliberate choice, but it's definitely a good thing. Just imagine what it would do to the atmosphere of these levels if that stupid tune was to go off every 5 seconds. Easy does it. No, I don't know why I got rid of those guys, but it definitely makes me feel safer around here. Ow! I don't know why I keep getting hit by those guys. It's not like they're difficult to dodge or anything. Could have sworn there was something in there. Oh well. In this next segment, you want to stay in the well-lit areas, of course. Lots of tentacle monsters coming after you, so don't do like this and go in the dark, whatever you do. It's kind of like the desert flying stage, where you had to hit the lights on to avoid the flies. Okay, I know there's a secret to the right. Uh-oh, not good. Whew. Made it. Whoops! Well, that's not the first time that's ever happened. It's pretty much every time I enter this secret area, I'm so keen to get a domino effect going with this fish that I miss that guy entirely. In my defense, he pretty much blends into the background though. If you're missing out on lumps for whatever reason, this is a pretty good secret area to come to. There's quite a few of those fish here, so if you can do it consistently, there's something like 30 lumps in it for you. Speaking of which, we're doing pretty well on the lump front here, so I think I'll just beeline it to the end of the level now. Yeah, let's take that one final Lump King bonus for good measure. Wow, wasn't expecting that. Some of the red fish don't just float about, they actually have a dashing pattern. I can't seem to remember which ones do what. Oh well. I think I'll make one more round, just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Well, I believe that's pretty much it. So, let's finally move on. Get out of this place. And teach that guy a lesson while we're at it. Well, here we are, finally. That was a pretty long level. I think it took us nearly 10 minutes. You can really breeze through these areas if you want to, and if you know them inside out. But there are a whole bunch of collectibles, so if you feel like collecting stuff, then there's definitely a lot of exploring to do. I think it's really cool. Well, that sure took its toll on me, so I think I'm gonna stop here, and I'll see you guys next time.